Good morning, crafty friends. Hello, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Season of Crafting. It is an exciting time for us as crafters that we get to lean into this hobby that brings so much joy to others during this season of giving. And so that's what the Season of Crafting is all about, and I'm glad you're here for it today. We want to provide you with the best discounts as our loyal customers who know and already are a part of the TE family. We want to give you the best of the best with our discount to allow you guys to purchase products that you can use during this season of crafting to show off your talents and bring joy and bring a smile to someone else with your handmade gift. So we're excited about kicking off this week with our very first Season of Crafting discount. If you're not familiar, I'll explain a little bit. So each day this week, starting today and then through Saturday, each day will be a different discount on a different grouping of products. And that discount is 30% off, and today happens to be rubber stamps. So anything with a rubber stamp in it, if it's a stamp and die combo with a rubber stamp, if it is a stamp and stencil combo with a rubber stamp, if it is just a rubber background stamp, anything that is made from red rubber is 30% off today. And if you're still confused, there's an easy way to figure out what exactly is on sale. You can head to our website, tailoredexpressions.com. You can click on that banner on the homepage that says Season of Crafting, and it says Shop Rubber Stamps, and everything in that category will be 30% off. You don't need any coupon code as you shop these daily deals, and they do end at the end of the day, or not the end of the day, they end tomorrow, right before we start our new sale. So tomorrow at 8:59 a.m. Central Time is when your rubber stamp discount will disappear, and then we'll start our next daily deal. So you'll want to tune in all week, and if you are maybe not sure what's coming up, we have a whole calendar for you as well. So on our homepage, you can go under Events and Community and click on Season of Crafting. And then from there, all of the categories are listed out for you on our daily deals all the way through Saturday. You can click on those links and they'll bring you to the items that will be on sale that day. So you can start making your wish lists and be ready to shop as soon as that discount hits at 9 a.m. Central Time each day. Now, something really cool that we haven't done before, we are going to have a live for you every day this week, Monday or Tuesday through Saturday. So we have some designers who have created fabulous projects using the products that are on sale. I know some of you have maybe already shopped this morning, but perhaps we can inspire you with our projects each day to check out something new that you might not have noticed on the website before. So that's what's happening. I will be live today. Obviously, here we are. And then tomorrow we have Susan will be live for foiling day. And then on Thursday, we have Heather for Stencil Day, and then Sue Banker. You guys haven't seen Sue for a while, so that'll be fun to mark your calendar and tune in on Friday for our die sale day. And then on Saturday, I will be back again. I'm kind of the bookend, the start and the end. So I will be back again on Saturday for our ink day. That's a big day. Those of you that are out there collecting and starting your collections or finishing your collections of TE ink, this is going to be the best sale that you see all year long. So there's what we have for you. It's a busy week at Tailored Expressions, and I know many of you look forward to this and plan for this and budget for this, and some of you just throw the budget out the window and say Merry Christmas to me. I did see a fun comment the other day on the fan page about how instead of Christmas gifts this year, she's going to give everybody a free 3-hour card making class with her. So I know. I thought, hey, put your supplies to good use and have the grandkids, the aunts, the uncles, everybody can make a card. So that would be really fun. So let's say hi to some people before we get into our project today. Good morning. Hi, Marcy in Florida. We have Val here in Arizona. Good morning. These names are getting harder and harder to read. Does that mean I need my glasses? I think I need glasses because I don't have glasses, and I feel like Susan always puts her glasses on for this part. So Good morning, Arletta. We have Gail here. We have Joan. I could just start throwing out names because we got a lot of people here. I don't probably even have to look. We probably have a few Susans here today and some Lindas. So good morning to all, and we are excited to get started. I do have a question that I will answer, so thanks for asking. We've got some first timers. Marcy says first time season of crafting. Laura asked if any cardstock or envelopes are on sale. So our season of crafting leads into our Black Friday sale, and anything that's not covered during our daily deals, we do offer a site-wide discount for Black Friday. And you'll get more details on that. It starts the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. So we'll get through season of crafting and we'll have a few days to recover before we start our Black Friday sale. So anything that you don't see in these daily deals, you can get on the site-wide discount during Black Friday, which is 20% off. So definitely make your cardstock and envelope wish list because everything will be on sale at some point during this period of time. So yes, we got a lot of Merry Christmas to me's. I love it. Hello, Sue in Texas. Awesome. Rachel's here, and we've got Diane. Very fun. Well, I am going to get started today and, of course, use some rubber stamps, but because we have so many deals happening this week and I'm the first one, I get to also feature some foiling today, which might be inspiring you to purchase something starting tomorrow for our daily deal. I've got some dies that I've worked into the project today, so you can add to your wish list happening later this week as well. All right, should we get started?
Yes!
Okay, let's take a look. We are moving past Christmas for this project, so put your mind there just for a little bit today. I don't think it's too early, and you can always make a love card. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. But I wanted to give you something past the holiday season because I know many of us have already kind of designed our Christmas cards, maybe even started on them. Some of you might have finished them. So today's project is taking a stamp and stencil combo that was originally brought out for the purpose of creating Halloween cards, and I have created a kind of love potion number 9 theme for these two projects. So we're going to be making this one here that features the stamp and stencil combo that I mentioned. And the stamp and stencil combo is called If You Dare. So this is what it looks like. And again, it was designed by Heather Nichols for our Halloween release a couple years ago. And I love the little extras in the background, but you can see that I was easily able to avoid those in my stenciling so that this looks a little more clean and simple and without the sort of Halloween-y potion stuff in the background. So we're going to be using that. I did want to show you because this collection also includes another die set. This die set here, what did we call that? I think it's just called Potion Bottle Die. And we're not going to make this card on the live today, but I know many of you joined us for our staycation event last weekend on Saturday. Only a couple days ago. We had a lot of fun, and one of the cards we made was an interactive card that includes a squishy element. And so I wanted to use this potion bottle die set with our red glitter paste to create a squishy potion bottle and then add in some of our other fun background stamp. This is on sale today called Ticks and Tacks background. I inked it up with 3 different pink colors to give kind of that sort of, potion-y popping bubbles in the background. So this one is super fun, but we are going to focus on this project. There's lots of tips and tricks for creating this, and I did some foiling, as I mentioned. You can see that sparkling on there. Used some dies, and also, of course, the stamp and stencil that are on sale today. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to start with my Misti and the stamp, the rubber stamp from the If You Dare collection. It looks like this. And we're going to set that up here in the Misti. I need to put a little bit of tape down. I also wanted to mention Many of you have asked, and so now would be a good time to mention, if you haven't seen, My Sweet Petunia has come out with some new products. Whitney, if you want to grab the Misti light for me, I would love to show everyone. We have our order in and on the way, so you should see these products hitting the TE website soon. But I think this is a fun new kind of way to use your Misti, and this is the new Misti light. You can see how thin it is, very portable. It has kind of a dual stamping platform, so you can use both rubber and clear stamps on here, and it magnetizes down right to your glass board using the Tailored Expressions large pawn magnets. So you can stick those magnets one on each side, and then you can easily use your Misti anywhere you want to on your glassboard surface, which I think is really fun. Now, our pawn magnets in particular are made with very strong neodymium magnet, and so it will adhere to that glassboard surface with 2 of these on it. And there are some other products too, but this was the main one I wanted to show you and just let you know that this is coming to Tailored Expressions. So if you've seen it out there, you've heard it talked about, we're going to be sharing more about it when we get it in the store, but it is coming. Okay, so this is the stamp then that I set up centered on this panel. We're going to end up cutting this down, which reminds me I don't need this now, Whitney, but I forgot to grab my A2 layer stacklets. Yes. So we're going to stamp this first, and then we'll end up cutting this down. So if it's not absolutely perfectly centered on there, it's okay. We'll have time to adjust that when we die cut the panel out. Stamping this with, I need my, here it is, my little Just Press tool.
Louise Shaw said, "You don't know how many times I've looked at this set. This may be a sign." So
yes.
It's a good thing you're playing with it.
It's fun to explore. I love taking things that were meant for one purpose and then making them work for another purpose. I just love the versatility of products, and I think that that kind of goes to speak for, you know, how we think about our products at Tailored Expressions. We're always trying to increase the versatility for you to make it applicable for multiple seasons and occasions. So, all right, let's go ahead with the stencils then. So this is a 4-layer stencil. The first layer is going to be really easy. This is just the little corks that go in the bottles. So I'll grab my teal tape. And there are etched alignment guides on this stencil. Do you guys see those in the light there? So those are going to line up with your stamped image. But the great thing about these is you can also just eyeball where those little corks are going to fit in, and then tack it down when we get it where we want it. Grab the glassboard buddy and our toffee ink pad. And just go to town with a little bit of a toffee cork. I did want to point out something kind of fun. So if you're looking at background stamps, another good one, it's hard to see in the picture, but I stamped this die cut cork with our cork background stamp. And that is one of my favorite background stamps. I think it's one of those more generic ones that works for a lot of purposes. It looks not just like cork texture, but just like texture in general. So I'll use it a lot tone on tone in the background, but I thought it would be really fun to use it on that die cut to make it look more like cork, since it is a cork. All right, let's move on then to layer 2. I try to preserve my teal tape. We have been out of teal tape for a while. If you're also waiting for it to come back in stock, know that we're doing the same thing as you. We're rationing our teal tape, and I'm sad that I ripped this piece. I might try to use it again. It will be coming in, but not before our Black Friday sale. Unfortunately, maybe not even before the end of the year. So keep rationing your teal tape. All right, we're gonna arrange these potions inside then for layer 2 inside of the bottles that they coordinate with. Just getting that in the best spot that I can. And we'll tack that down. So this first layer is going to be strawberry milkshake. And you can see here we've got those little, Whitney calls them doodly boops. We have little doodly boops in the background, but I don't want those to stencil with my potions. I want that background to stay nice and clean and simple. So what I'm going to do is, if they get close to that potion bottle opening, I'm just going to cover them with a little bit of our Post-it removable labeling tape. And then we'll go ahead and blend with strawberry milkshake. And you can kind of move these around and reuse them. And you don't need to cover every opening, so just the ones that get kind of close to the stencil openings that you're filling.
Gail brought up an earworm for us.
Oh, yes. Is it Love Potion number 9?
Yes! Do you remember that song?
Oh, yeah. I tried my hardest not to sing it when I said I have this Love Potion number 9 themed card. I figured everyone doesn't need to listen to my singing today. But thank you, Gail, for bringing that up.
You're a fabulous singer, Taylor.
You know, I like to sing in the shower. I'm one of those. But that's...
Whatever brings you joy.
I don't need everyone to hear my singing. All right, so we got those 4, and we'll peel this back. And start on technically layer number 3, layer number 2 of potion fillers. And get those positioned inside our jars. We've got another 4 of them on this layer. Okay. Let's see, where's my tape? I got this one that's getting in my way. Okay. And our little half guy over here that I'm still preserving. And layer number 3 then is going to be dragon fruit. Amrita's asking if we remember the 80s movie. I don't remember, well, I was born in the 80s, so I think maybe I don't remember the movie.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Okay, getting in here for this one. You kind of hold your breath on each layer, like, did I find all the little openings? All right, we got this one over here then. Okay, and then we'll pick up this guy and put it down over here. Okay, and then one last one in the corner. Let's see. Rachel's asking, what Scotch tape is that? This is, maybe not, if you're talking about this one, I don't think it's Scotch, but it is Post-it removable labeling tape. Still 3M brand, but we do sell this in the TE web store as well, and you just pull it off the roll, and it's like Post-it tackiness. So it's easy to get up off of your project without tearing it. And I use it a lot when I'm masking stencils like we're doing today. All right, there's the dragon fruit. We're getting there. And our last panel then is going to be a combo of watermelon and cherry pop. So, and then we're going to add some little bubbles with splatter. You guys know how much I love my splatter. I do have to say, before Heather joined the Tailored Expressions team, many years ago now at this point, I had not splattered very much, and it was not really part of my repertoire. And now Whitney will attest. I get my splatter out often, don't I?
We love our splatter.
And then a lot of times I don't wash the brush also. So, oops, did I accidentally do that? I am going to break a rule here. One of Susan's rules is only one ink pad open at a time, but I am going to open up the cherry pop while I have my masking in place and just add that added kind of dimension of color. Cherry pop is just a touch darker than the watermelon. All right, so watermelon next. And then cherry pop. At the bottom. Move this up. Maybe block off this one here. We might be able to do these two at the same time if I get enough blocks in there. Okay. So, cherry pop or watermelon first. And if it makes you more comfortable, you can use a smaller brush. I just have my big brush out for the first color, but you could use a bitty brush. Okay, we're going to put watermelon away, move cherry pop back in here, and we'll add that detail dimensional blend. There we go. Okay, so the fun thing about this layer is this is where I added the splatter in order to make it look like kind of bubbles inside of the red jars. We're going to keep this stencil layer in place, and I'm going to cover up the other openings. I don't think you would have too much problem with splatter getting in there, but because it's white splatter, you might not even see it if it does get in there. But sometimes when you're done with your panel and you don't want to take any chances, you just do this. So I'm just covering up those little guys in the background. One more small piece should get me what I need, making sure I leave open all of the red areas. And I'm going to do something that I don't do very often. I'm going to splatter in the wild. That's what I know. That's what Heather calls it, because usually we have a splatter box to contain ourselves, but I'm going to try to be very contained as I do this splatter.
It's fine. I'll clean up after you today.
Okay, thanks. I have been splattering long enough that I feel that I can be responsible and controlled with my splatter. But for those of you who maybe are just trying splatter, I would highly recommend a box and maybe a shirt that you're not super attached to. So sometimes you can get rogue splatters and you don't want to ruin a nice shirt. Ask me how I know, because I have done it before. All right, so I put a couple drops of water in with that Dr. P.H. Martin's. That's the bleed proof white that we carry in the store. It kind of has more of a thicker consistency, so it does need to be watered down before you can splatter with it. I'm going to start my splatter over to the side here to get those first big drops of splatter off, and then we'll come on to the stencil, and we might need to just tap for a while before we start to get those splatter pieces where we want them to hit because they need to go into the openings of our bottles. Obviously, a lot of them are hitting outside of the bottles as well. A little harder to get it in this tiny guy down here at the bottom. Come on, tiny guy. There we go. And then we'll pull this one in over here, get some splatters. So far, so good. I don't have any on my shirt that I know about until later. Okay. Now we do a little cleanup, and I will show you what we've got after we clean this up. So just a baby wipe to wipe off that mini glass board, another tool I use a lot specifically for splattering. We'll wipe up the glass board area that got some splatters on it. And then let's pull this off. I can pull off all those little pieces later, but these are just garbage to throw away. And then here's what our finished splattered panel looks like. Just like that. Kind of fun. So if you wanted splatter in the other openings, you'd simply have to grab that stencil layer, and then after this splatter dries, you'd put that one on and then splatter in there. I didn't want to do all of that work of waiting for this to dry and then being able to do the next one. So for our other little openings, we're going to do some selective blending again. That's a good technique. We're going to do some selective blending with one of our heart stencils to add some hearts inside of the liquid on these jars. So I need this to dry just a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have a fully clean space. Did somebody say I got splatter on my nails? Oh no, but if I did, they would look like ladybugs with white dots. I don't think I did get any on there, so. I've got a little bit of elbow grease on the adhesive that I like to put down on my glass board. If someone in your life is looking for a great holiday gift for you, the stamper in their life, glass board. If you don't have one yet, it has been a game changer for me, especially with this new Misti light coming out. I'm really excited to see how that changes my use of my glass board, but I love it. I don't craft without a glass board surface, so I'm using that not only for my live videos, but we've got, I think, 6 of them around our craft room now. Yes. So we are all in on the glass board surface, and I love the white background that we have with ours and the markings that make it easy to center the sizes that you're working with a lot, and of course just the fun rainbow detail around the outside. We've used this color catcher area for various things like your liquid watercolors and even kind of ink applications from the ink pad direct into those openings. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this back in. I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to zoom out just a touch, and I'm going to make sure these are dry. So I might wait a little bit longer if it was just me in my craft room, but y'all are here with me watching. So first I take a look at them. If they don't look shiny, then that probably means they're dry. And then just as an extra test, I'll touch it with my finger. And if I don't get any white up on my finger, then it's dry. So now we can take that second stencil that I mentioned, and we're going to need some more Post-it labeling tape for our selective blending. I'm going to do this with Plum Punch ink. I thought this would be a good color that kind of goes with this, but provides enough contrast for the little heart details. So let's start down in this corner. What I'm going to do is try and find a large heart that doesn't have too much around it. And then I can just position that heart in the center of that opening. And for this, I am going to use a bitty blender brush. You could also use, maybe I'll grab I've got my detail blender brush here. This could be a really good opportunity for detail blending. Gotta get this open though. And we'll just stay really concentrated on that one heart. And lift that up, and you can see we've got our little heart in there. So let's move over to this one here. We're gonna do a couple of hearts. So this looks like a good little grouping right here for a couple of purple hearts. Okay, then up in this area, I'm looking for maybe 3 or so hearts to fill that space. So let's try these 3. So you just kind of hunt around. This particular stencil is called Rotating Hearts Stencil. It will be on sale on Thursday. It's a single layer that's designed to rotate, and you blend each rotation in a different color, and then you end up with, you know, a full pattern of hearts. But I will often pull it out when I'm just looking for that little pop of heart, and then I can selectively choose because they are farther apart from each other. So let's take away the plum punch now, and I'm gonna grab dragon fruit, and we'll go ahead and do a few dragon fruit hearts inside of the strawberry milkshake layer. So I will grab my dragon fruit brush, and then let's do a couple little hearts here. We'll do you 2. This might be helpful just in case. I'm kind of close to the edge here, so that'll give me peace of mind when I'm applying these to just mask the edge, because at this point you don't want to make a mistake on your blending. All right, then we'll go up in this area here. Let's find another little grouping. Maybe too big. There, we'll try those. Couple little dragon fruit hearts there. And then I think I'm gonna leave the other 2 open because we end up putting some foiled labels on those. So that's where we're gonna go next. Let me turn on my Mink machine and get it heated up, and then we'll get all of our foiling supplies, because one of the items we added on to this collection, it didn't release with it, but we added on these little Foil It If You Dare labels. And the labels come like this, and they are completely toner printed. They say fun things like Pucker Potion, Sweetheart, Love Potion, Pure Number 9. There's Hug in a Bottle, True Love. There are several different sheets of these. These all say kind of different things. Love you lots, 100% pure love. And each little quadrant of this design works with the same die. So I'm going to grab this die. This is the Foil It, or the If You Dare labels die. So once we foil these, we can cut them out, and you can see each quadrant cuts out with the same die. And then the really fun thing about these is we made them also for Halloween. So let me pull out the Halloween, this is one of the Halloween Foil It panels. So it says things like Poison, Unfiltered Witch Grade, Toxic, Cure for Coffin, Mermaid Tears, Pure Extract. So really fun. This one says Snail Slime and Witch's Brew. There are a couple different panels in each one that all say different things and work with that same label die. So we're of course going to be using the Valentine themed one. I'm going to cut 1/4 of this off of each one of these. These are 2 different panels. We're going to do one of them in red stars and sparkle and one of them in black. And then we're also going to do the reverse of that. So Louise says labels. Yes, we have labels. So kind of a fun add-on to this collection. All right. So let me grab my foil. I've got my red stars and sparkle, which we're going to do with this top one. So we'll cut off the foil we need for that. I love these days where we have lots of time to craft together, and I got to pull out something old and make it new again. So I'm having such a good time. I'm looking at the clock like, can we stay longer? Okay, so there's the red stars and sparkle, and then we've got our black fun foil. Now, you might think this is black, so why are we doing black? I think you'll understand once we use the reverse of this, the negative piece of foil, and we're going to place that onto one of the polyglaze sheets, and then it's going to give us the reverse. My magnet really wants to stick to my scissors. Instead of black with white lettering, it's going to give us white with black lettering, and that's the same for the red stars and sparkle as well. So you get dual, you get double for your efforts. Okay, we'll put those back and cut this down. And then we can send both of these through at the same time. I've got my Foil Magic shim and my carrier sheet. Okay, got those trapped in there. We have the folded edge that will go into the machine first. So let me grab the machine that is nice and hot for us, and we'll let that grab. Pam's asking, do I not cut up my foil rolls anymore? I don't typically cut them up off of the roll because I came up with new wall storage for my pretty rolls of foil. So I typically cut off the roll as I need it, but I still store in our folders. When I have this extra foil pieces, I'll just put those in the folder. Sometimes my extra pieces are bigger than other times, but I do still store it both ways. I just don't cut all of the foil off the roll in long sheets. I keep it on the roll and looking pretty on the wall. I'm going to turn my Mink up to a heat setting of 5 because we're going to need that for this second step of the process. Let's pull these out, cool them down, and then we'll go ahead and peel the design.
Someone has a great question. They said, do you have to have a heat-resistant surface when you're foiling? So maybe you want to explain our foiling a little bit and how it works.
Yeah. Heat-resistant surface as in like a glass board or a wood piece. I would say as far as using your Mink machine, you would want to keep that machine on a non-flammable surface. I mean, I guess wood is flammable, but it's not going to get so hot that it's going to start your wood tabletop on fire. But it is a heated machine, so I wouldn't put it, on top of something flammable like a piece of paper. So that is one little tip. But as far as maybe that's what she meant. Mm-hmm. I think maybe how you use your machine, you don't have to put the machine on a glass board, but having it on a surface, like normally off to the sides of this is a wood-topped butcher block table. So a really thick wood table would kind of absorb the heat from the machine. Okay, so these are the leftovers of what we pulled off of our foil pieces. And by using the polyglaze sheets, I'm going to grab some of those. By using these polyglaze sheets, we are going to get double for our double bang for our buck. So I'm going to cut one of these polyglaze sheets to fit behind this design, and you do want the foil area to completely cover the polyglaze, otherwise it will stick to your carrier sheet. So just make sure you get the foil covering completely that polyglaze piece, and then we'll do this one. And we are going to die cut these out with our label die, so it doesn't need to be like a perfect trim or anything. I'm just kind of making sure that the polyglaze sits behind my foil piece as I trim this down. And then, as I mentioned, I would recommend bumping your heat up to a 5 when you're using polyglaze. So I had mine on a 3 for the foiling that we did with our toner sheets, and now we're going to move it up to a 5. I find that I get better results, specifically when using the polyglaze, but I don't do a 5 for anything else. All right, let's make sure I can get that red all the way on there. I think I got them. Okay, we'll trap those inside and send them through. And then I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out the other side. And then we've got our die cut machine and our dies that we'll do next, and then finish this off. And then tomorrow you get to spend the morning with Susan. I hope she remembers to come. Usually her lives are on Thursdays, so I'm sure she will. I'm just teasing. I know it's just different when you go live on a day that you don't normally. That happens to me, then I get confused the whole week. What day is it? I don't even know. All right, we'll let that cool down again. And pressing it onto the cool glass board with your hand, the heat kind of absorbs into your hand. You can feel it getting cool. So I've started doing that more. My friend Mary Haugen told me about that little trick. So it's kind of fun to feel the heat come out of the paper and move into your hand. So there's what that looks like with the reverse on those polyglaze sheets. And again, it doesn't really matter if it's crooked or those kind of things, because we are going to die cut it with the coordinating dies. So let's go ahead and bring in the die cut machine. We'll set these off to the side for a second. And go ahead and die cut. I need some Scotch removable tape on here. And you can see through these dies, so you should be able to line them up pretty easily to die cut those labels out. All right, I got to remind myself which ones I used so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It looks like from the black, I used this little black heart one, and I'm going to stick that in my glassboard buddy so I know where to get all the ones that we're using. Okay, then let's die cut the black on, actually I don't use any of the black on black, so we're gonna, or black on white, so we're gonna skip die cutting that one. We just had to foil it in order to get the negative one. Okay. This one, we need our pucker potion. I need that tiny little oval one that fell out. I think that's it. The rest of you can go over here. I keep all of these and store them in with my stamp and die combo so that they're ready to use the next time I'm crafting with this. Okay, and then this one is the white with the red writing. For this one, I need the 3 red hearts and the True Love. True Love, 3 red hearts. Okay. Now before we put the die cut machine away, I am going to die cut this panel with the A2 layer stacklets. So I want to grab the die that is 4 by 5 1/4. I think it's the second one. The second largest one. Got to center that on there. This is where if you did need to kind of recenter your stamp design, you can do that because you can see exactly how it's centered on that panel. So, and I like to put these through at an angle. That way the whole roller mechanism is hitting the die line at a different time. When you send it through straight, it kind of causes that, like, you really have to push it through. This spreads the pressure out across the die line. So a lot of times with those dies that have straight edges, straight cut lines, I angle them just slightly. And then the other thing I want to do to this is use the cross-stitch rectangle stacklets. Both of these are great basics that I'm using today. And I'm going to use the largest one just to add that X's pattern around the outside of my panel. And keeping all of those little details from within the pattern, masking those off, gave us the opportunity to add in some detail with this die cut kind of X's pattern. So this doesn't actually cut the cardstock away from your design. It adds these little X's around the outside of your pattern.
I love those.
Isn't that fun? We use these a lot.
All the time.
Yes. And the same with our diagonal stitch rectangle stacklets. Those are a little older than the cross stitches, so I find myself reaching more for the cross stitches lately just because they're newer. But I do use those diagonal stitch rectangles often as well. So let's go ahead and adhere our pieces, our little foiled pieces, to the jars. Just going to do this with tape runner. It was kind of fun to figure out what little labels fit on each one, and you could put labels on all of them. True Love is going down here. Have our little oval piece. The little ovals fit in the longer, what are those called? Not a beaker, a test tube. Mm-hmm. A longer test tube style. And then this one's going to go in our round bottom beaker, like this. Perfect. All right, then to finish this off, we are going to adhere it to a cherry pop card base. I'm going to do that with our 1x3 foam strips. Love these. You guys see us use these all the time. And then for the side, so it doesn't get droopy or crumpled in the mail, I'll put a strip down the side as well. And you better believe I save this little strip. I put it right back on my roll, and next time I need it, it's there. Or sometimes we rip off those little extra pieces and just keep them around the craft area. Never waste foam tape. That is one thing I don't waste. I have been known to throw away paper scraps because they can get really out of hand fast, but I feel like foam tape scraps always get used. Okay, I showed you guys this over the weekend at the event, but oftentimes when I'm centering a panel on my card front, I'll open it up so that it's easier to center it on there. A lot of times when you have it closed, it kind of pops up on you, and then it's hard to finagle your panel on there at the same time. You don't want to fight with the pop-up. All right, last thing to do is our sentiment, and I actually did this ahead of time, but this is on sale today, the stamp set, Love is in the Air, and then we have the die set as well. I will mention, for those of you buying stamps and then hoping to get the coordinating dies on die day, they do sell out sometimes. So just so you're aware of that, it does happen. It's obviously our biggest sale time of the year. We will restock the dies if they sell out. But of course, it's the sale price is only good on the supplies that we have. So if you're hoping to get those dies that coordinate, make sure to shop early and just, cross your fingers. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little more foam tape. There's that scrap coming back and being used right away. I decided, I don't know why, I am using my giant foil cutting scissors for the entire live today. I know. Okay, coming back with the tiny scissors, more appropriately sized for cutting foam tape. And we'll finish off the sentiment here. There we go. That's better. Okay, I do love to use my reverse tweezers when I put sentiments on so that my fingers don't get in the way of exactly where I want to place this. And we'll go right about there. Love you lots. And I did use that same sentiment set on the first card that I showed you. This XOXO is from the Love is in the Air stamp set as well. So fun stuff. I did use a little label on there from the foilet sheet that we foiled. And then this heart is from the, do we call that Hang On Hearts set, I think? So yeah, lots of different fun things you can do with this potion bottle theme as we come into starting to think about Valentine's Day cards. And as I mentioned, tomorrow is foil day. So I'm going to come back and finish this off with you guys. So tomorrow, as I said, foil day. So all of our foils and foilets will be on sale. Susan will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. The sale starts at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you're wondering what is part of the sale, just a little repeat of information, you can head to the homepage under Events and Community, click on Season of Crafting, and all of the categories are there for you. So you can shop those categories early, you can start your wish list, you can even add to your cart, and then just wait for the sale to go live tomorrow. So I'm excited about Susan's project, and she'll have more foiled things to show you tomorrow. So I hope you guys have fun the rest of this week and keep thinking about how you can share joy with others through the products that you're grabbing during Season of Crafting. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you